guys, let's go to some other headlines that are all around the league right now. Let's go to one that I guess a guy's getting chirped for absolutely no reason. Matt Tkachuk was on Jimmy Fallon and really showing off his personality, showing off the NHL, talking about the four nations. You know, Anthony, you got fans that are then going, shouldn't he be in rehab? Shouldn't he be doing this? Shouldn't he be doing that? Like, we're trying to grow the game, right?
Yeah, no, that's just because he's injured doesn't mean he can't do a media spot. He's not going to be training 24/7, so that's ridiculous. But no, I mean, it's good for the game that he was on Jimmy Fallon. That's big. Gets more eyes on the game, and obviously the Four Nations tournament played a role in that, and hopefully the NHL can continue this momentum. But Tkachuk, while he's not the best, he's far from the best player in the league. He's not like McDavid, McKinnon. The thing is, Matt Tkachuk has personality, something that McDavid and McKinnon, they don't really have much of, to be honest with you. The Tkachuk brothers are they just have it. Not every athlete has that it factor, and when it comes to markability and being able to do those things like going on the Tonight Show, Matt Tkachuk has that outgoing personality. He's funny. He's not afraid to say what's on his mind. He's just, the best way I could put it is he's a bro. I mean, Matt Tkachuk is a guy like, if you want to go out for a bachelor party, you want Matt Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk there. I mean, they're like, seem like they would be one hell of a time. So, it's good that he's getting out in front of the camera and helping to promote the game. So I loved it. I think the Tkachuk brothers kind of had their coming out party in this Four Nations tournament when it comes to casual fans. They were at the forefront. And how could you not love them? I mean, they hit, they're talented, they could score, they get under your skin. And they're proud Americans. So I absolutely love to see it.
Yeah, Jim, this is hockey fans talking out of both sides of their mouths right now, right?
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. I mean, everybody wants more growth in the game, grow the game, but we don't like it when a guy goes on Jimmy Fallon because, he's hurt and, he's got to be with his team and this and that. They had to go to Nashville for one day, and then they're back in Florida. Like, I think it's okay that he went on the Tonight Show to promote the game. It's actually really smart marketing that it happened because you're taking advantage of what happened with the viewership that you got last week on ESPN with the Four Nations tournament. I mean, these two guys were on the Kelsey Brothers podcast. I mean, you're getting more exposure to the game. You're going to get more eyeballs to the game. That's what you want. That's how you grow the game. It's not always about the game itself on the ice. It's about the promotion and guys willing to do stuff like that. Remember, Wayne grew the game in California, not just because he was a great player, but he did all the media stuff along with it out in LA to grow the game. He was at Lakers games. He was doing a bunch of stuff. Like, that's how you grow the game. And the Tkachuk, Matthew Tkachuk is great. His personality is awesome. The interviews that these guys do, the answers that they give are just great. And we need more personality like that in the game, and that's how you're going to be able to grow it and take advantage of it. I have zero problem with it. We know if he was able to play, he probably doesn't do it, but we know he's going to be out a little bit because of the injury that he sustained. So I have zero problem with it, and I know his teammates probably didn't have any problem with it either.
Yeah, this is just fans' jealousy right now.
Yeah.
It's the best way to say it. Look, first off, Matt Tkachuk is on your team. You're going to be happy with that. Mm-hmm. If for that matter, yeah, it was quite the coming out party for him and Brady Tkachuk. They were all over Twitter, Instagram, everything. And then on top of it, to be on Jason Kelsey's or the Kelsey Brothers podcast, where I was citing Jason Kelsey specifically because he's the one that says the Stanley Cup is the greatest trophy. He's the one that really will talk a lot more hockey than his brother will. And it's a lot of get off by lawn complaining. And you know something, we always complain, why isn't hockey more popular? Why can't we grow the game? Well, because especially star players, you're kind of like trained to not show your personality too much. That's why you got these planks of wood sometimes, whether or not they really are or they're not, like Connor McDavid, Sidney Crosby, Wayne Gretzky. I mean, he was trying to avoid being controversial as possible. Let's say, who's to say that Brendan Shanahan or maybe even Brad Marchand couldn't have like hosted Saturday Night Live, because that's the amount of personality that Matt Tkachuk has, and it would be great to see the NHL at least let their players be a little bit more, I guess personable. No, that's the wrong word, but just, showing their attitude, showing everything. That's what makes them great. Let's go to the star of the Washington Capitals and the one that has been there for almost 2 decades now, Alexander Ovechkin. 12 goals shy of breaking Wayne Gretzky's
time.
Oh, what?
Me and Jim just did this literally at the same time. We both did the same reaction. That was funny.
You're making me cough from laughing on that one, guys. But yeah, I when I heard the noise, I didn't know it was in unison because I was reading this off.
Yeah.
But Alex Ovechkin sits 12 goals away from breaking Wayne Gretzky's goal record. I mean, Jim, we'll start with you on this one. First, your thoughts on the season that Alexander Ovechkin's having, and secondly, just when's he going to do it?
I mean, this is remarkable, right? Guy comes in better shape, right? And last year he ended the season great, and everybody's like, it should carry over, right? He had like 32 goals in the last 28 games, something like that, coming out of the break. And then he just starts on a tear. And he comes out of Four Nations, gets not in the first game, and then the second game he gets a hat trick. He has 4 goals in the last 2 games. And you're like, this guy's unstoppable right now. It's just remarkable because at the beginning of last year, before we hit the All-Star break, you're like, there's no way it's going to happen next year.
Yeah.
Probably going to be a little bit longer. It's going to wait, but it's still doable. Maybe it's not. The Caps are winning. The Caps are a good team. They're having fun. He's having fun. And he's scoring in his kitchen still. It doesn't matter. Like, put him out on the power play. From the circle, he's still scoring. No matter what you do, he's still putting the puck in the net. And I want to hear about empty net goals and this and that. The fact of the matter is, he will break Wayne Gretzky's record. I think it's going to be like April, in the beginning of April, I think he does it.
Yep.
Anthony, give me your game that you think he's going to do it, and also your thoughts on the Great 8 right now.
Well, first, he's he has been one of my favorite players in the league ever since he came into the league. He was just so dynamic. He was just fun to watch. And I don't know if you could see it, but I wear the number 8 around my neck. It's my number, and I started wearing it when he came into the league. So that inspired me to change my number because I just love the way he played hockey. So yeah, he's amazing. He's been amazing to watch ever since he came into the league. And this is a guy that people have doubted him. He's slowing down, and how he ended the season last year, as Jim said, that won't carry over. And could he be washed? And guys, I want everyone to kind of grasp this. He's 39 years old, and he's averaging like 0.70 goals per game. And this is coming from someone who broke his leg and missed 16 games. Like, it's just not normal. As you get older, clearly you slow down. I can understand, this happening to a 24-year-old. He comes back and, he doesn't miss a beat, but he was so hot before the injury. Everyone's like, oh, well, this is going to slow him down. This is going to derail his chance to break it this season. But no, he just comes back and he picks up where he left off. It doesn't even make sense. And, John Butchergross makes jokes about this every now and then. It's like, the guy has been seen like carrying Doritos bags, Subway, drinking Coca-Cola, McDonald's, and he's still just a freak of nature. Like, I don't understand it. Like, a Russian machine never break. I don't know what it is, what his secret is, but he's absurd, and I can't wait to see him break the record, and we can all witness history. As for when he does it, they're saying that he's on pace to do it April 4th against Chicago. So I could take the easy way out and say he does it there. But my guess is that he does it on the island, April 6th at UBS. He's tormented the Islanders for a large portion of his career. So how fitting would it be for him to do it in New York? And if you look on StubHub, there's a reason why tickets to that game, the prices are up there. Because I think, even if you're not an Islander fan, you want to be there to potentially, witness history. So I know I'm going to try to get there for that game and see that. But, that's my prediction. But, also who knows? Like, the guy could rattle off a hat trick next game again. And then that projection from April 4th will drop into, even earlier in April and the end of March. So, but yeah, I definitely think he's doing it. And, lastly, before I hand it over to you, Mark, just think if he didn't break his leg and miss 16 games, he might have already have the record. I mean, that's 16 games where he was out. So if he doesn't get hurt, he may already be the all-time goal leader by now, which is just amazing. It's amazing.
It is fascinating, by the way, that it is fascinating how Wayne Gretzky's been cheering for him to potentially break the record for over 2 years now. But it's also fascinating how he keeps in shape, because after all, he's in the Phil Kessel School of Conditioning. But you look at what he's done. I've said this for a while. When his legs go, he's just going to be Brett Hull. And Brett Hull was basically find the spot, shoot. And he's the greatest goal scorer probably ever to play this game. He is one of those personalities I'm saying the NHL needs to show off. Unfortunately, right now, it's not exactly the country that's getting all the press, or a good press for that matter, that he's from. But Ovechkin, I think he's going to break the record. I don't think he's going to wait till April, guys. I'll say March 30th against the Buffalo Sabres. He's going to go. You're talking about teams he tormented, Anthony. He's going through Ottawa, the Rangers. He's got a bit of a history with them. And then the Detroit Red Wings after that. And that's just this week. And the Capitals, they're winning. They're doing this. They're not doing this as like a sideshow. They're doing this because they're trying to win games. Yep. They got 84 points. They're way clear of second place, Carolina and New Jersey. And right now, Spencer Carberry's got that focus about trying to win again. Imagine if that's the script for the end of the year. He ends up breaking Wayne Gretzky's record, grabs the Stanley Cup, maybe another Conn Smythe, and then just retires. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think he's got enough in him to try to go for 1,000. Really quick, guys, yes or no, is he the greatest goal scorer of all time, in your opinion?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and it sounds like it's a question that you have to go, nah, I don't know about that. But, I mean, he is going to pass a guy that had 894 goals. Nobody ever uses him as the greatest goal scorer of all time, even with the most goals in a single season. And then you also have, like, other guys that had their careers cut short, like, of course, the great Mike Bossy.
Your ideas are intriguing to me, and I wish to subscribe to your newsletter.